Hi everyone, welcome to another GDevelop tutorial, and today we are going to learn how to add a selectable character to your game. Okay, so let me show you exactly what we are going to do. This is an example project I created before recording this tutorial, so I'll just show you how it works. So run the game. I have my selection screen, so I can select the character. So if I click on this one, this square moves there, and this is our character we selected. And if I click here, it will go back. So right. So let's say we select cowboy, and I press OK. And here you go. We have our cowboy here, jumping really high on the platforms. Now, if I press Escape key and just select this one, and I press OK, we go to the same level, but now with a different player skin, and actually also behavior is different because this character cannot jump as high as the other one. So you can actually apply different skill settings to each of the selected characters, right? So here you go. We have our cowboy again, and he jumps really high. Cool. So let me show you how this is done. Alright, so I prepared this project. There are no events, no nothing. I just have two levels here. So one is select character level, and I have some objects here I prepared beforehand. And I have level 1 and nothing here as well. So this one will this screen select character will be our character selection screen, and this will be the actual game. So let's go here and see what kind of objects I have. So I have a few global objects. So global objects meaning that I can reuse these objects in all the different levels. So you can see these ones are kind of highlighted, right? These 4. So if I go to level 1, I can find these objects as well here, okay? And the way you actually set them as a global object, you just right click any of these and set as global object. So that's really easy. So let's start to recreate this screen, and you will see which elements we will need for that. Okay, so first of all, I just want to I'll just remove the grid. I want to add this title of the screen. So this is select your character screen. Okay, that's cool. Another thing we will need is our player skin 1. So this is the cowboy, and then we have also the explorer. Okay, I'll just put it here on the screen. Okay, cool. Another thing, you have this frame, which will need to select the character, but I will not put it here at the moment. Now I'll also need, what else I'll need? Maybe a button to confirm, our selection. Okay, so I just leave it here. Cool. Now we need to add also these labels, so we know which character we're selecting. So this is cowboy, and this is our explorer. Just put it here, roughly in the middle. Okay. So that's cool. I need to make sure that I have these on a higher Z order level than this square, right? Because then we'll not be able to click on this. So I'll just remove this, and I make sure that these two are like kind of on, I don't know, let's choose 10, Z order 10. So they will be on top of that square, okay? So that's fine. We have created our, visually our, selection character screen. And now we'll go to add some events, okay? So let's go here. It's all empty here, and I add a new empty event by clicking here. And the first thing, I want to add something at the beginning of the scene. So let's type beginning. At the beginning of the scene, I'll make the game full screen. So activate full screen. And also I want to say in which state we are, right? So which character is selected at the beginning of the scene. It's going to be always the first one. So, and we will do that by using global variables. So global variables will help us to do this whole thing. So I'll search for a value of a global variable, and we call it character, and set equals to 0. Okay, so now we should remember this one, because so I'll create the logic that if the global variable character is set to 0, it's gonna be our cowboy character, and when it's become 1, it's gonna be our explorer character. So 0 is cowboy, 1 is explorer. Okay, so that's cool. So at the beginning of the scene, we know this is the character that will be selected, and I want to create also now immediately the that selection square around the character. So I'll create an object, this player select frame, and at which position around our cowboy character. So player skin 1, X position, and I copy paste here, player skin 1, Y position. Okay, so now if I press OK and I run, okay, we created this square around our character. Cool. So that's nice. I also want to make sure that it's under our character, so this will allow us to click on the character. So I'll just search for Z order of square. So our character is Z order 10, so we just need to make this lower. I'll just make it 0, so just to make sure. Okay. So that's nice. So if we run the game, we just created this square around the character, but nothing works. We cannot move it. We cannot select anything. So let's just try to add some conditions on, when we click things. So I'll add a new condition, and I say when the mouse is over an object, and let's say it's player skin 1, so when the mouse is on top of it and we click, button is pressed left, so we click with the left button, and let's add trigger once as well. So we make sure if we hold the left button, it just doesn't continue in a loop. It just happens once, right? So trigger once. What we do? So we will set this global variable of the character set to 0. So we can just copy this. So copy and paste here. And we also need to make sure that our square moves towards the position of this player, right? So to this position of this character. So what I'm gonna do here, I actually double click this and go to behavior, and I add a tween. So this will help us to create some nice transition, animation transition between states. So our square can move from one position to another with a nice smooth animation or transition, so apply. So we add a tween to this one. And I'll say that, actually, let's find tween. Position, add object position X tween, so it will just move horizontally, okay? Cool, so we selected the frame. Identifier, we just say selection. You can put whatever you want here. And to which position it should move? Obviously, player skin 1, X position. Okay? Easing, this is the type of animation. You can have a whole bunch of these things here. So you can do bounce, you can do like rotate, you can do whatever you want. But I think I like this one. So is in out quad. Okay, so I'll just use this one. And duration is in milliseconds. So to make it quite fast, I'll just put 500. Okay. So that's nice, but we need to do the same thing for the other character as well. So I'll just copy this whole thing, copy and paste, and just replace whenever I see player skin 1. So player skin 2. So if we click on this, we change the variable to 1. So now the character selection variable is 1, and we move the square towards the second character, player skin 2. Okay. So let me save the project and run it really quickly and see what happens now. So if I click here, we have this nice animation of the square moving to the other character. If I click here, it moves back. So we just, change these two positions. And in the background as well, we change the variable. So now if I clicked on this one, the variable of global variable character is set to 0. If I click here, now it's set to 1. We don't see it, but that's what happens in the background. So that's nice. So we change the variable, we visually show which character you have selected, and now we just need to confirm the selection. So I'll just add another event, another condition, and say when mouse is on top of button OK, and we click on it. So press left, okay. That's cool, and trigger once as well. Then we just go to the new scene, okay. So pause and start a new scene, and we go to level 1. Okay, that's cool. So this is all we needed for this screen. I'll just save it again. Okay, and we can move to the other scene where we have the actual game. Okay. Okay, so let me just quickly place a few platforms here. So I'll place this one, place this one. Cool. I need to set these to be actually platforms, so I'll just add platform and I choose jump through platform. Okay. And next thing we need to add is our hitbox. Okay, so this is going to be an object. It's just a box sprite. This is going to be the object that we will actually move with our keyboard, and based on our player selection, we will apply to this box the one or the other skin, okay, of the player. So first thing, I need to set this as a platformer character object. Okay, so just click here and let me change a few settings just to don't make it jump too high or move too fast. So jump speed, I just add 500, gravity 500, maybe jump speed should be something like 350, things like that. Okay, so apply. And now if I run the scene, okay, we have our square just, jumping on top of these platforms. So that's cool. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do, I will group these two objects, so player skin 1 and player skin 2 in one group, because when I will be applying some conditions like, follow the box or things like that, I want to do it once and I don't want to do it for each of these objects, okay? So I have this object groups here, so if you don't know where it is, you just can click here. Open, so I'll just close it. So open object groups editor, cool. And I can add a new group. Let me rename it, edit group, rename. And I call it player skins. And I open this group and I just search for the objects I want to add to this group. So player skin 1 and player skin 2. Okay, apply. You can make this group also global if you wish, but I will leave it like that for the moment. So we have our group as well, and we will use it later and I will show you how. So let's go to our events and we start to add some here. Okay, so once again at the beginning of the scene, let's put it full screen as well. Yes, let's go. And at the beginning of the scene I want to check which player we have selected, and based on that I want to actually apply to our box the correct skin, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is to add a sub event. So I created a new event and I move it to the right here, so it's under at the beginning of the scene, so it will do at the beginning of the scene full screen, and then we'll do these things as well. So let's search for our global variable, value of a global variable, and variable was character. So if it equals to 0, okay, we'll create an object player skin 1, because that's the when it's 0, it's this character here, right? That's what we decided. At which position? So at position of hitbox X, and Y position, same thing, hitbox Y. That's cool. So and we need to just copy and paste, because we need to do it for the other character as well. So copy, paste the whole thing, so when it's 1 we load the other skin. Okay, so player skin 2. So now let's run the full thing and let's see what happens. So I've selected our cowboy character. I press OK, and you see it created this this character at the position of the box, but then the box fell on the ground because it has platformer movement, because I can actually move from there, but it created at the correct position at the beginning. So if I run it again and I click here, so selected this one, press OK, now we have this character created here. So that works, and that's fine. So now there are two things we need to fix. We need to hide the box first of all. So I'll just go here when it says at the beginning of the scene, and we just search for hide, and we hide hitbox. So now it's not visible anymore. And another thing we need to do is to make sure that whatever skin is created, it follows the box all the time, right? So in order to do that, I'll just add another condition, and it's not sub-condition of this one, it's just a new one. So I moved it back here, and add condition, and I say always. So it will happen at all times, always, forever. Change position, so position of an object, and we don't select one of these, right? We select the group we created, so it will apply to both of these objects. So player skins, so position, we change position on the X axis to hitbox X, and hitbox Y. So now what we did here is actually so at all times, forever, like it will never end. We will change position of our group of these two sprites to be always at the position of the hitbox. So whenever we move hitbox, these two will move together as well. So let me run this and see if that works. So that's cool. If I run the scene, select character now, and I select the other character, I press OK, and now you see that our second character moves with the hitbox as well, based on our selection in the previous scene. So that's all good. I'll just need to fix something, because I want to set the Z order of the platforms to be under the player. So because you saw it, actually the player goes under the platform. So if these platforms are Z order 1 and 2, so first of all just put them to 0. So 0 these two platforms. And now when we create our object, we select the Z order of our object to be more than 0. So Z order of player skin 1 equals to, I don't know, 10. Okay, and same thing here. Z order player 2 equals to 10. Okay, so now it's gonna be on top of the platforms. I didn't put it here for the full thing, because you might want later in the game to change the order of your objects. So if you actually put it here, it's gonna always keep the same Z order. So that's why I just created once. I changed it once at the beginning of the scene. Okay, so that's cool. So let's see if that works. Right. So now we are on top of the platforms. So now another thing we can actually do with this is to change players' abilities, right? So now we can only change the skin. So if we run the scene, I select this one. It jumps with the same speed, with the same gravity, with the same everything. Doesn't matter which player we selected. We can actually change that. I can actually say that if at the beginning of the scene, if the global variable of the character is 0. So if our player is a cowboy, maybe his speed is gonna be slower. So I just search for speed, maximum speed of hitbox, because that's where we have the platformer behavior, equals to 50. So let's say it's slower now. Okay. And maybe let's add jump speed. So jump speed is jump speed over hitbox, always the hitbox, equals to, I don't know, let's say 400. So it will go slower, so our character will walk slower, but it will jump really high. So now if I do the same thing here, so when we actually selected the character explorer, what I want to do here is actually speed, maximum speed of hitbox equals to maybe 120, so it will walk faster, but then it will jump lower. So then jump speed of hitbox equals to 100 as well. Okay, so now what's gonna happen is, based on our character selection, we not only change the skin, but we actually change those two values, so speed and the jump speed. So I select my cowboy. Okay, now we walk slower, you can see that, and we jump really high. Okay, now if I run this again and I select my explorer character, I press OK, it jumps very low, but it walks faster. And you can do a whole bunch of things here, right? So you can change a bunch of settings, like not only platformer movement, but also type of weapon it uses and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to change all of these things based on your character selection, you just put them here, and you have all of that here. So here you define what each character will actually do and what we'll be able to do. So you know, this is a really basic example how to do this. It's just one of the ways to create your character selection feature in your game, but I think it works. It's quite easy to do. And if you like this video, please check my other videos. I have plenty of them, and please subscribe to my channel for more. And if you want to follow me on Twitter or Discord, you can find all the links in the description below. And thanks for watching, and see you next time with another video.